New shifter lever came in. That really couldn't have been any more awkward to put that bolt in, you guys. Like, that is such a tight spot. I couldn't even fit the wrench in there. So I got it loose with the wrench, and then the rest of the way I had to loosen my fingers. But that's a real awkward spot. But we got it on. All right, so one thing I did forget to mention to you guys the other day when I was filming the 1 year review about this bike, and you could consider this a negative because it was totally unexpected, and I did not intentionally do this. It just kind of happened. So this actually happened a couple weeks ago. And me and my buddies wanted to go riding, and so I met them at the trails, and at the time I wasn't really familiar with the trails, and so I rode all the way from, it was like a 15 or 30 minute drive. It wasn't that far, but I rode from point A to point B, right? And in between nothing happened. So when I got to the trails, I guess it had just happened because I got lost in the trails trying to find my friends. And so when I stopped to call my buddy Dimitri, which you guys have seen in my videos, my coolant light on my bike came on. No, not my coolant light, I'm sorry. My overheating light came on my bike. And this bike has never overheated at all. I've never had an issue with that whatsoever. This bike, that light has never came on ever. So I was like, what the hell? And immediately I went and I checked my my coolant reserve tank, and it was totally empty. There was nothing in that tank, you guys. It was totally empty. So I was like, what the hell? So to make a long story short, basically, this is my old coolant hose, and I could give you guys a close-up, but if I look really quick, there's a hole on one of the ends. I'm not really sure where it's at, but there's a hole. It's right here. It's right here. There's a hole in this tube, and all of my coolant leaked out of the tube, and there is coolant all over my engine. It was all over the place. And on top of that, also, when Dimitri came and met me at the trails, it wasn't that far away, my back tire was flat. So I was like, great, a 2-in-1, really? Are you serious? My coolant leaked all out, and now I have a flat tire as well. I'm like, are you serious, dude? So, what we ended up doing is I ended up riding the bike very, very carefully back to my buddy's house, who lives like 5 minutes from the trails, right? And so what we did is that we kept the bike there, and we went over to AutoZone, and we got some temporary coolant. And then my buddy did everything because he kind of knows how to do this stuff, and he's done it in the past. So he went in the back and he helped the guy find the right, we just got a line of coolant hose, and we got back and we put it on. So if you guys did notice that my coolant hose was a little bit different, that's the story behind that, is that there's a hole in my coolant hose, and I guess it just leaked out when I got to the trailhead. And I don't know what happened, maybe these just wear out pretty fast. I do want to order another OEM one, but this one is working just fine for now, but I have no idea how that would happen. Maybe it got pushed against the engine and got really, really hot, and it like melted part of the rubber away and it made a hole. I'm not sure how that happens. That all happened on June 20th, and June 20th was a Friday, and when this happened, it was like way after 6 o'clock, so there was nobody open at all. So hopefully, well, thankfully, AutoZone was open, and we were able to fix the coolant hose problem. And then it was a whole mess because no one was open. And then the next day, which was Saturday, I had to load my bike up in my buddy's truck, and we had to bring it back to my my apartment so I could just leave it till the next day. And then the next day was even crazier because I had called every single motorcycle shop in the entire area, and nobody had like the correct size tube for my back wheel, like my back tire. And I was like, are you serious, dude? So I went to Cycle Gear like twice, or like 2 or 3 times. I went to Cycle Gear in the same day, and Cycle Gear has a whole bunch of stuff. So we got a tube, and it fits. It fits for now, but eventually, it works for now, so I'm just gonna leave it. But it's a little bit bigger than the original one I had in the back tire here, so it's working for now. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. So, but yeah, it was a whole mess. It was an absolute mess. And if you guys were curious about what coolant I did use, like I said, I did use a random coolant at AutoZone that I found just to get the bike from point A to point B. But the next day, when I went to Cycle Gear, I ended up picking up the coolant called Engine Ice, which is like really, really popular, and a lot of people use Engine Ice. So I'm sure a lot of you know what Engine Ice is. So that's what I ended up getting. So when I went to Cycle Gear, I picked up a thing of Engine Ice, and I picked up a tube for the back tire. The bike is good, and the only other thing that I had to do to make the bike actually complete with no more repairs is that I had to fix both my turn signals, because in the last video I did tell you guys that they are both busted, so that's something I do want to save up for. They're pretty bit expensive, but eventually within the next couple weeks I am going to buy new signals for my bike.